is a journey of creativity, discipline, and continuous learning. Here are 3 tips to help you navigate this path. Embrace your unique voice. Every author has a unique perspective and style that sets them apart. Don't shy away from your individuality. Embrace it. Your distinct voice is what will draw readers to your work and keep them engaged. Writing what you're passionate about rather than following trends can also lead to more authentic and compelling storytelling. Number 2, commit to a writing routine. Discipline is the key to productivity and growth as an author. Set aside dedicated time for writing each day or week and treat it as if you would any important appointment. A routine can help you make steady progress on your projects and improve your craft over time. Remember, writing is a marathon, not a sprint, and consistency is your greatest ally. Number 3, read wildly and critically. Reading is as important as writing when it comes to honing your craft. Read widely across genres, including those outside your comfort zone, to expose yourself to different writing styles, narrative structures, and ideas. Read critically, analyze what works and what doesn't. In books you enjoy and those you don't. This practice can inspire your own work and help you avoid common pitfalls in your writing. By following these tips, you can develop your skills, find your niche, and navigate the challenges of being an author. Remember, every writer's journey is unique, so be patient with yourself and enjoy the process of bringing your stories to life. Speaking of bringing your stories to life, this is your host, Dr. Leland. I super apologize to all my fans out there and to all the fans of our great Level Up podcast. It's been 2 months. I took a break from MP3 because I went to become a publicity hub. I have a TV show Thursday and Sunday, and I have a live stream show on Wednesday where I elevate business owners during Wednesdays and live stream them to my YouTube, to my Facebook, and to LinkedIn. I did something that I really wanted to do, which is to become a publisher. I became a publisher 2 weeks ago. I published an anthology called Beyond Boundaries, Thriving in Life's Gray Zone. In this book, it was a physical book, paperback available 2 weeks ago, but I am expanding the distribution, not just to Amazon. So I took it off Amazon temporarily, and I will bring it back soon. Right now, you can get it through your Kindle or any ebook out there that's available. It is still available on Amazon. Beyond Boundaries, Thriving in Life's Gray Zone. Today's MP3, today's podcast is about that. And one of the authors, Kinga, who is reading her chapter to us. Let me tell you something about Beyond Boundaries, Thriving in Life's Gray Zone. The space beyond defined boundaries teaches several valuable lessons about resilience, adaptability, and the nuanced spectrum of human experience. Here are some key takeaways. The first one is embrace uncertainty. Life rarely operates in absolutes. Learning to navigate the gray areas, situations that aren't clear-cut or where the path forward isn't obvious, can foster flexibility and creativity. It encourages us to remain open to multiple perspectives and solutions rather than seeking black and white answers. Resilience is key. Thriving beyond boundaries often requires resilience. It's about adapting to change, overcoming challenges, and bouncing back from setbacks. This resilience is cultivated through experiences in the gray zone, where certainty is scarce and we are pushed to grow and strengthen our coping strategies. Value of empathy and understanding is next. Operating in the gray zone can enhance empathy and understanding. It reminds us that everyone's life experience is unique and complex. Acknowledging this complexity can lead to deeper connections with others and a more compassionate approach to the world around us. Importance of self-reflection. Thriving in ambiguous situations prompt self-reflection. It encourages us to question our beliefs, values, and reasons behind our actions. These introspection can lead to significant personal growth and a clearer sense of self. Learning to let go is next. Sometimes thriving means learning to let go of the need for control. The gray zone often requires us to accept that we cannot control every outcome. Embracing this can lead to a sense of peace and the ability to focus on what we can influence. In essence, thriving beyond boundaries and life's gray zone teaches us to be more adaptable, empathetic, and resilient. It challenges us to grow and find balance amid uncertainty, ultimately leading to a richer, more fulfilling life experience. What we're going to call this is Welcome to the Voices Unheard of Beyond Boundaries. Thriving in Life's Gray Zone, the podcast where we deep dive into the stories of those who defies the ordinary. Today, we're shining the spotlight on an extraordinary author from our latest anthology, a trailblazer who's navigated the crossroads of culture, identity, and societal expectations to carve her own path. Born to immigrant parents, she excelled and academically yet wrestled with a world that seemed to draw lines where none should exist. Imagine a young girl caught between the vibrant traditions of her heritage and the stark expectations of a new society. A brilliant mind that questioned, do I belong? But our author wasn't one to be confined by labels or expectations. Facing the pressures to follow a traditional path, she ventured into the world of engineering, a field dominated by legacy she was expected to uphold. Yet within her, a different passion simmered. A love for human connection, for stories that bind us. But here's where our story takes a turn. Our author dared to embrace her unconventional curiosity, to question the status quo, and to seek more than just success, to seek meaning. Despite backlash for her directness, despite feeling misunderstood, in a world that often values conformity over authenticity, she persisted. And through her journey, she discovered a powerful truth. And that, dear listeners, is what our author brings to the anthology. A chapter not just of struggle, of triumph, a reminder that the path less traveled is not one of isolation, but of incredible discovery and the creation of a world where everyone feels seen, heard, and valued. Thank you for joining us today, for sharing your heart, your challenges, and your victories. To our listeners, remember, your uniqueness is your strength. Embrace it and walk your unconventional path with pride. Join us right now for Voices Unheard Beyond Boundaries, where we continue to celebrate stories of resilience, identity, and the beauty of being unabashedly oneself. Go ahead and keep listening to Kinga's story. Here it is.
Curiosity didn't kill this cat. I'm Kinga-Vajda. Do you know your fractions? I'm not sure, I said with shame. Neighbor kid laughed at me. I probably understood basic algebra at the time. We were doing fractions years ago in class. I rarely missed school. How was I excluded when they assigned fractions out to everyone? Why did everyone else have their fractions? They must have owned something that I didn't. I was missing out. I was different. They were all clued into something bigger. Meanwhile, I understood not only math, but also language at a deeper level. I was literal and purposeful, so that possessive pronoun, your, really threw me off. I learned Hungarian and English at the same time. Growing up, translations began so early in life. Children of immigrant parents think and interpret concepts in different ways. The cultures we are raised in, our relationships with family, the world around us, and who we are can greatly conflict with what we see in society. My problem, I look like everyone else, so I felt hidden and in disguise. I felt society's pressure to pretend I was something I wasn't, a 9-year-old imposter. As a child of the 80s, I was never taught to honor my strengths as a curious person about human connection, self-growth, and impact. My father was an engineer, and I felt there was only one obvious choice for college, an engineering degree from one of the best, Georgia Tech. I made him proud, and that meant a lot to me. I always sought to bond with people more than the materials I chose to study. Again, feeling like a fraud. I continued to lean on my father's mentorship. He was a hardworking IBM dad, extremely loyal to their code of conduct, and a dedicated problem solver. I had the analytical skills of an engineer, but the passion of a justice warrior for doing what makes sense and standing up for the people who maybe felt like I had no real sense of belonging. Eventually, I became a young woman in the tech industry, pointing out how to improve things. I was direct in how I showed up in business, assuming results mattered most. I didn't know that seeing things clearly would be an affront to others. I knew I could make a difference, so I felt compelled to act and often speak up. What I didn't expect was the backlash that I would face. Internal politics made no logical sense to me. Disconnects caused adversity throughout my life. In a world where we are all so different in sending, receiving, and processing information, we are bound to have a wide spectrum of preferences, styles, and speeds. I used to think, if I stay true to my heart, someday I'll be recognized for my intent and contribution. Life doesn't work out the way you expect it. My relationship with language and interpreting information became challenging as I navigated life. Just like with people, sometimes I allowed it to become a roadblocks. I'd visualize one every time that word got used. Can you remove roadblocks? Hearing that question made me freeze. My knee-jerk response was to think, no way, it's a gigantic cement barricade. Give me a problem and I can solve it. Also, I was thinking, what if you were the roadblock? I took on almost any challenge with perseverance. Most often, I sniffed out the deeper problems. I started asking smart enough questions so that we would hit our goals. I strategized how to expose the root cause of real issues. It caused discomfort and alienated me, but my purpose remained steadfast, so I couldn't reconcile this. I felt so at odds with myself. Who I was did not feel embraced or celebrated. I thought that was wrong, and I couldn't stop myself. I had many significant setbacks. I tried to learn, grow, and evolve, but ultimately, I knew I was stuck with who I was at the core. The problem was, I loved her. I still do. I'm okay with her. It seems like everyone else was not. No leader stood up to take me under their wing. I felt alone, abandoned, and abused. So many people fall through the cracks. Those seen as strong are often treated like they don't need support. Our society can be performative beyond tokenization. People often ostracize those who don't fit a certain mold. I've sat in that not so sweet spot my whole life. I thought I will never fit in. I'll never belong. I felt abandoned by the people I was bringing in the results for. I was taught to keep learning and trying different things, so I did, and it still wasn't working. As a project manager, I coach others to bring visions to reality. I had the urge to protect others from how I never felt protected, except by my mom. She has people's backs. I was trying to do the same. When I had the foresight to see problems arise, I would speak up preemptively. Let me save you from this headache, time, or pain. My favorite gift is handing others my content and lessons packaged as if on a silver platter so they don't have to suffer. It frustrated me when I noticed that not everyone felt compelled to do the same. Everyone could use some help when they're in a mess. Everyone could use support. I recognized the need for people to nurture each other as part of the formula for success. Remarkable things happen when you have intention, focus, discipline, and a responsible framework. It sounds so simple and obvious, but here's potentially a new angle. You must be willing to be unconventionally curious. In that way, you expand your ability to see previously hidden opportunities. When we're shut out, often we also shut down. Accept and love yourself because although it may feel scary and different, I'll tell you why it's the best ride ever. You'll feel like a jaguar cutting through the jungle to find prey. You'll discover a life of abundance by being the trailblazer you were meant to be. Although you may struggle, you'll realize you were meant for a different path. Your new lens will be what makes you special. You offer a fresh perspective that nobody gets to take away from you. There's not one person, no automation, nothing that can take that experiences that only you've lived with the information you've processed with your mind. You can tap into this if you haven't already begun. When trying to reach big dreams, it usually requires a lot of support to make it happen. Think CEOs, entrepreneurs, community leaders, pretty much anyone. We need others to get stuff done, and you're a pioneer in your journey. At the same time, it's possible to support others and in theirs. We don't have to be givers or takers. We can create balance. I also believe you won't accomplish much if your team looks, acts, and thinks exactly like you do. Creativity doesn't come from that. Do you seek innovation or validation? When a diverse group is excited about a vision or goal, working under the same value system and honoring it, they're more likely to be creative and supportive, uplifting each other through collective inspiration. For example, this anthology is a team effort. We all created energy through it. We are already a success just for the experience. Beautiful bonds were built. My strength in adversity comes from a childhood of being different and seeking others who could relate to that feeling. Through that, I developed a keen eye for seeking the unique value of each person. Imagine my surprise that others don't have that inclination, and we all continue to suffer because of it. It ignited me to coach others to discover and hone this skill. If we all felt seen, valued, and accepted for exactly who we are, think about the possibilities that may have come to fruition. Human instinct is to do what keeps us safe. Blending in is often the default when you've been raised to value similarities. Many people still look to see what everyone else is doing first. I'm sure I do it too. Being part of a tribe makes us feel connected and protected. However, it can limit us if the tribe is not a system of true acceptance. My ability to seek my tribe through curiosity and form a unique cast of characters has given me strength. My passion is to let others know it's okay to be the disruption they are or long to be. Through that, you may find that you have many tribes to meet your different goals. We can see this happening in business today. Project teams are like mini tribes. Please just don't forget the law of reciprocity. It exists for a reason. We must take care of each other. The most beautiful place is to wander naturally, like a child free to flow with imagination. You're free to roam when putting together the pieces of your life puzzle. Gather your tribes. Don't allow anyone to make you feel stuck. I'll go to places where I can let people hang out with their fractions, hop right over those heavy cement barricades, and align my goals with those who want to thrive in the gray zone. When you set yourself free, you are. The world is full of incredible people and opportunities. You are never stuck if you don't want to be. All you must do is use your mind to imagine the life you want, be curious enough to chase it down, and put the right people in your path. Together, you will be compelled to celebrate yourself, take steps forward, and no longer see your differences as adversity, rather as your superpower of healthy checks and balances, breaking up monotony, learning to empathize, and adapting. You'll change unproductive behaviors and supercharge the spirit of other trailblazers. As a project manager, I've navigated through adversity by adhering to my purpose-driven path, which I crafted uniquely. It's been a journey of self-exploration like no other. Both professionally and personally, I am Kinga. I know who I am. Ground yourself in who you are, stay curious and open-minded, open your heart, be kind, and demand no less from the people around you. Together we can forge ahead, leveraging our collective strengths and experiences. It's in the power of community, seeking opportunities, and creating systems of acceptance that we can overcome any challenge and achieve anything.
That's all for today's episode of the Level Up Academy podcast. I hope you found inspiration and valuable insights to carry into your daily life. If you're eager to dive deeper, be sure to check out our book, Beyond Boundaries, Thriving in Life's Gray Zone. It's available on Amazon for Kindle. It's your guide to navigating life's complexities with confidence and resilience. Don't let the journey stop here. Subscribe to our podcast on your favorite platform to never miss an episode. Your support enables us to keep bringing you the transformative stories and expert advice that can help you level up every aspect of your life. And if today's episode sparked a new idea, a moment of clarity, or simply resonated with you, consider sharing it with friends and family. Every share, every like, and every comment helps our community grow and thrive. For more resources, visit us at levelupwithdoc.com or Lua by docleland.com, docleyland.com. You can grab your copy of the book anywhere in about 2.5 months by June. We're talking anywhere in the world. So if you are somewhere out there wanting to get our book, we will have a physical book signing in mid-June. San Diego, California. Until next time, remember, growth happens outside your comfort zone. Keep pushing boundaries, stay curious, and as always, level up.